Morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Sam here, United People's TV. Man, we got here on time, just about. Yeah, it's been a busy morning. But we're here to talk about the Rasmus Hojlund announcement, unfortunately, being delayed. Or fortunately, if you're me and you're not going to actually be able to watch the games this week, and therefore I won't actually miss the Hojlund debut. But anyway, it's nice of United to do that. We're going to speak about the Hojlund situation, what's actually gone on, why is his announcement being delayed? No, there's no problem with it. It just is slightly delayed. We'll speak about that. We'll speak about all the other transfer news, but mainly going to be focusing on exits. Amrabat is a conversation that I think is completely on pause until the exits start to happen. We'll speak about Fred. We'll speak about Maguire, Nathan Bishop joining Sunderland yesterday. Confirmation there, undisclosed fee, but we'll speak about that. And a few other things, a little bit of takeover news towards the end. But as you can see from the title, I'm a little bit tired of talking about that, considering there's no real movement on it. But who's down here from the member gang? Let's have a look. Good morning to everybody in the comments. We've got Mania Weng. Mania Weng, how you doing? Chris, good morning to you. Kerwin, we've got Stu Backer. T, you're there. Josh, you're there. Gary, you're there. JVD, I see you. Jerry, Isaac, Hybrid Hunter, good morning to all of you. Arnold, we've got Michelle. Miles, we've got Devo, Fizz, Vinny, and I'm sure you're there hiding, lurking somewhere as well. Alex, you're there too. Who's on Facebook? Let's have a look. Good morning to everyone on Facebook. Christian David, you're there. We've got Ulagu, we've got Chris Wynn, Emmy Love, Ray Rogan, Gaz Sim. Good morning to all of you. And good morning to everybody else who's watching. I can't read all the names out, or there literally wouldn't be a show. I would just be reading names out. But hey, Rasmus Hojlund, I had hoped, I wanted yesterday to be the announcement day. But it wasn't. I wanted today to be the announcement day. But it's not going to be. The confirmation yesterday, it came out, I think, from Sky Sports First. Fair play. Jeez, and that must be the first time I've ever said that in like about 4 years. Sky Sports First reporting that he might not be announced to the weekend. Manchester Evening News and Samuel Luckhurst followed up. And there was confirmation last night from Fabrizio Romano that Man United are actually going to be aiming towards the weekend for the announcement of Hojlund, which is a bit of a disappointment for everybody, right? Because we wanted to see Hojlund. Well, as I said, I'm actually missing the game, so I'm not happy, but I'm happy I'm not missing Hojlund's debut. But this is a little bit more detail on it. This is coming from Ekstra Bladet, which is a Danish daily newspaper, and they got a little bit more insight into it. Saying, look, the football world is currently waiting in anticipation for Hojlund to be presented, but they're going to have to wait a few more days. United's press officer Andrew Ward confirmed yesterday that they expect to present him at the weekend. It will probably happen in connection with Manchester United's game against Lens on Saturday. Now, that makes me want to pull this video up and this little moment that happened, right? You remember this. That's not the video I want, is it? Why don't you press play out there? You remember when this happened, right? I loved it. I thought it was wicked. It was very different in the age of social media now, because signings and unveiling them online is worth so much to a football club in terms of exposure, in terms of engagements. But Rafa Varane being unveiled in front of the Old Trafford crowd was cool. It was a nice... I don't know whether it was planned or whether it just kind of happened because there were delays with the Varane situation. But I imagine for anybody who's going to be going to the game against Lens on Saturday, you're probably going to see a similar thing. I imagine you'll see Hojlund walked out in front of the Old Trafford crowd with his shirt, maybe with his shirt number on. We don't know what his shirt number is. Maybe he'll get the 19. Nah, he won't. But he's not going to be announced until the game, and it looks like he's going to be announced in the same way that Rafa Varane was. That old video there. And while I'm not my initial reaction, I'm a bit annoyed that Hojlund won't be getting to make his debut at the weekend, because, you know, get used to it. It won't be a full Old Trafford atmosphere. I think it's like 20 quid tickets. It's going to be families. It's going to be day trippers. It's going to be people that might not have seen United before or might not see United again. So it won't be that sort of crowd and atmosphere, but just playing in a stadium of that size, of that scale, in front of his new home crowd. I was hoping that he was going to get that debut at the weekend, sort of like get the nerves out of the way, I suppose. He'll still be nervous for the Wolves game, but alas, that doesn't look like it's going to happen. Maybe he's in the squad to face Athletic in Dublin, but I doubt that very much, because if he's unveiled on Saturday, I'm going to presume that the squad for the Dublin game on Dublin is travelling to Dublin on Saturday. So I suppose we'll find out a little bit more information tomorrow. But I've done my starting 11 for the Lons game, and spoiler alert, Hojlund's not in it. Let me see what you're all saying in the comments. He needs game time, not arsing around holding a kit, says Daz. I mean, I don't think there's anybody who will disagree with you, but it's been delayed. I think if you're looking at the details as to why it was delayed, he arrived late on Tuesday, so I think he arrived a little bit later than he was supposed to. I think it might have been something to do with cancelled flights. Didn't complete his medical until yesterday, even though we have Fabrizio saying that all medical was completed. I think he got that wrong. It was part of his medical got completed. But I think it's just been some slight delays. Whether, I mean, maybe the flights would have been out of United's control. Maybe there's certain things that have been out of United's control and out of Hojlund's control. And it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. As long as we get him in with a week full training, meeting his teammates, trying to settle in somewhat into Manchester before that game against Wolves next Monday, then I'm fine with that. Cameron, you think he'll start against Wolves? Oh, no, you don't think he'll start against Wolves. I don't think he'll start against Wolves. I think he'll definitely come off the bench. The Athletic has sort of already hinted at that as to the use of Rasmus Hojlund this season. He's not going to come in and be like a Casemiro or a Martinez and just start every game. He's fit. I think Hojlund will sort of be eased into it. Because if for example, you were to compare, I saw there was a good tweet. You were to compare where Harry Kane was at 20, right? I think he was on loan somewhere. He definitely was on loan somewhere. Like he wasn't a big name whatsoever. If you look at Ivan Toney, I think he was playing for like Bristol City in League One. Rasmus Hojlund is going to be Manchester United's new main striker at the age of 20. It's going to be the pressure is going to be exerted on him externally, the media. As soon as he makes a mistake, crank it up. But Erik ten Hag is a man I absolutely trust to be able to coach him through this. Ten Hag has serious experience in managing top-class young players and turning them into top-level stars. Now, the spotlight's not as fierce at Ajax as it is at United. The scrutiny is not as fierce. So it's a kind of it's a safer environment to sort of, I suppose, develop and grow up in as a footballer. You're saying that Kane was at Leicester. Well, there you go. Kane was at Leicester. It's going to be tough for Hojlund, but United and Ten Hag have backed him to do it. And I thought this was an interesting conversation and talking point, because all of us, right, throughout this whole process of a striker, we've been saying, what about Gonzalo Ramos? Like, why is nobody linking really United to him? Why is nobody really linking him with a move anywhere? And we had confirmation yesterday from Fabrizio Romano that he was actually the backup option for Hojlund. So say, for example, the Hojlund, for whatever reason, we couldn't agree on a fee with Atalanta and we couldn't sign Hojlund. We were going to be looking towards Gonzalo Ramos. Now, we were always told, the only player that we got told that we were looking at in comparison was Kolo Muani from Frankfurt. But now Gonzalo Ramos looks to be going to PSG. And he's probably going to go for a similar amount of money to Rasmus Hojlund, which means that Manchester United have sat there, they've done their research, they've done all their scout reports, and when comparing Ramos and Hojlund, Man United and Erik ten Hag have decided that the profile of Hojlund fits Manchester United more than Ramos. Now, I can see down there in the comments, David Bruce, 80 mil for Ramos, similar amount. What a joke. That's a steal. It's because I suppose we've already seen a little bit more of Gonçalo Ramos, a little bit more development. We've seen him in the Champions League with Benfica. We've seen him at the World Cup with Portugal. But if Manchester United have decided to go for Hojlund over Ramos, I think that should really tell you how much belief they've got in his potential, how much belief they've got in Ten Hag's ability to make him one of the leading names as far as European strikers go. And I think that's quite exciting. Of course, I'm going to look for the... I'm here with red-tinted glasses on. I'm looking for the positives. Of course I am. And Ramos might be a fantastic signing for PSG, but good luck over there, man. Good luck at that club. That's what I would say. Alex, you're saying, look, it could be an attitude. Look, I'm not going to speculate as to whether he's got Ramos has a bad attitude by comparison, but I think it's more to do with the profiles of looking at both players and seeing the characteristics. It's that there's a lot of natural characteristics of Hojlund's game, which having done all the research and looked into it, that's why I'm excited about him. Trump, maybe not that Trump. You're saying big pressure on a little Danish boy. Well, he's not little, he's 6'3". So yeah, that's that one out of the way. Second of all, like all the coach, like Gasparini at Atalanta, I think the Danish coach as well, they all speak very highly of him. I think that there was a Danish coach, I read a quote yesterday, saying that he's really confident to the point where you might think he's cocky, but he's got flair, he's got bags of talent, and he sort of backs it up and he delivers. The reality is, and the same thing went for Erik Ten Hag, the same thing went for anybody who's played at a different club before. United is a different ball game. United is a different kettle of fish. United is one of the 3 biggest clubs in the world. So there's only 2 clubs you can move to from United where it's a sort of level playing part. Like if you go from United to Barca or United to Real Madrid or one of those 3 directions, it's kind of all on a level playing field. And I'll be honest, you could probably throw Liverpool can just be just a little bit below. Maybe Bayern Munich you could put in that conversation too. Probably those 5: United, Liverpool, Bayern, Real Madrid, and Barca. If you moved in between those clubs, you'd understand the scale of a club of that size and the fan base and the requirements and the scrutiny that comes along with it. Any other club in the world, it's a massive step up. So Hojlund's got a lot to deal with, but I think all of our signings so far have settled in to different degrees, have settled in well. Who would you say is the signing that's settled in the most and the best at Manchester in all of Erik Ten Hag's signings so far? I mean, I think you know who mine is. I'll be interested to know what you say in the comments. I think you'll all say. I think you'll all say the same as me. What else are you saying down here in the comments? Rasmus is young and has all the attributes to be Ronaldo. It's a no to Ramos. No, he's going to... Rasmus Hojlund will be the first Rasmus Hojlund. He won't be the second coming of anybody else. He'll be the first coming of his own legacy. And that's exactly what he'll be thinking in his own head. Ray, you're saying not expecting too much at the moment for Rasmus. As long as he's fit and not injury prone, then it's already a step in the right direction. That's true enough. We've kind of been starved of actually having a striker, let alone a good striker. So let's get a fit striker first, and then let's critique his game. What else are you saying down here? Lots and lots of you saying, yeah, of course it is. As if it was going to be anybody else apart from Martinez. Martinez is definitely the one that's settled in the most, looks at home. He's going to be like a cult icon. That will be a transfer that will always be remembered. Casemiro has definitely settled, but it took him longer to settle. And I don't think he looks as settled as Martinez. But I think maybe at the end of this season, we might have Onana in that conversation. Maybe we'll have Hojlund in that conversation. We'll find out. But we won't find out. Well, we won't see him in the United shirt. We'll probably, as I said, anybody joining in now, we'll probably see a repeat of this. Just before the game, you'll see Hojlund walking out of the tunnel with his United shirt. And anybody at Old Trafford, they will be there for the unveiling of Rasmus Hojlund. Strikes me as what... It's not guaranteed that they'll do that. But it seems likely. Right? It's at the weekend. It's at Old Trafford. Let's find out. But either way, there's nothing to worry about the Hojlund situation. It's just, well, we're not gonna get his unveiling until the weekend probably. Klein, my Don, how you doing, man? One of the proper OGs of the channel, gifting 5 memberships. Yusuf, Carl, Active, who are the other ones? Adaz, and Ferdal. You are the lucky 5. Klein, how you doing? Nice to see you, my guy. Top guy indeed. Woo! Whip out the gong. This is the last live stream, by the way. Until I know, don't hate me. This is the last live stream until Tuesday, because I'm off to the festival a little bit later on today. I've got videos going out today, tomorrow. I'll have lots covered, but it won't be a live show until Tuesday. So make sure you enjoy this. Make sure you drop a like on this one. Let's move on to the next talking point, which was what? Oh yeah, this man. This man. This is a conversation which is, as I said, it's parked until we sell, which is what I'm going to move on to next and speak about Fred, speak about Maguire, speak about what we're doing. How very dare you have some time off? I know it's disgusting, isn't it? I'm ashamed of myself. But all the social team will be working hard. They'll cover everything properly. We'll have some short videos out. Video going out at lunchtime today. Video going out tomorrow already. And don't worry, we'll have the Hojlund announcement covered too. But Amrabat, it's part. But I tell you what, I've let myself get excited about this idea. Like if you rewind, I don't know, what, even like 18 months ago, call it 2 years ago, what were our midfield options? Fred, McTominay, Bruno. Who else was there? I can't even remember what it was. Either way, look at that as an option, a 6 op. Now, obviously, at this point in time, Kobbie Mainoo is injured, so he's ruled out. So that's going to leave us a little bit weak in that sense. And you might say that Christian Eriksen doesn't have the legs to be capable of offering depth, but I would disagree. I think Eriksen could be used as the sub, but Pogba there, Donny van der Beek, Juan Mata, yeah. But that 6 there, it's just making me nod. Just makes me nod. That 6 there, you got Amrabat and Casemiro as your 2 deeper lying alternatives. You've probably got Mason Mount with Kobbie Mainoo as his backup. And then you've got Bruno Fernandes with Christian Eriksen. And let's be honest, Bruno's never going to come off. So Eriksen will probably come on for Mason Mount. It's options. It's real, genuine midfield depth and midfield options. And that, well, it's just not something we've been able to say for a while. And it's necessary because we're going back into the Champions League, people. We want to compete for the title this year. That's what we all want. We don't know whether we can or not, but we want to. Man, look at that. Tom and the main man himself. Gongshi for Gungshi. How you doing, man? One for you. And one for you, my friend. Don't know what accent that was. Big up to this community. I tell you what, I'm going to throw in. I'm feeling vibey. I'm feeling festival vibey. So I'll throw 10 out as well. That's my thank you to you to being the best every single day. Da-da-da-da-da. That's 10 from me to you. Sometimes I'm nice. And you're saying, look, Martinez looks like he was born it, mate. The day when we get him on for an interview on this channel will be a peak day. A very, not bad peak. That's what we're aiming for. A Martinez and an Eric Ten Hag interview. That's what we want to get on this channel. King Crazy Man, he's saying, after Amrabat, who would you like United to buy? Harry Kane? Woohoo! It's not going to happen, but I think that's the only other signing I would look for. That's why I think so anyway. I mean, to be fair, there's probably loads more signings. Probably loads more signings I would do. Emmanuel, you're saying Eriksen's the weakest of them all. And dude, if Eriksen's the weakest of them all, that goes to show you a little bit of strength in depth that we've got. Because first half of last season, Eriksen was the strongest of them all. Raymond, you're asking whether I want Lavia. Man, I had him down as the one of my ideal signings this summer. But I did not think that Southampton would be able to command between 40 and 50 mil. I think the price that I put on Lavia was like 25 mil, maybe. I got that spectacularly wrong, which is quite a lot of things I get spectacularly wrong. Tom, you're saying, do we know how long Mainoo's out for? The Telegraph are the only newspaper to have put a number to it, and they said up to 2 months, which if correct, that means he's out for August and September, and he's back in October, which is still plenty of the season. It's just a real shame that he's missing the start. Really is a real shame. But let's move on to speak about the next talking points, right? And we got some confirmation. Confirmation here. No, I'm not going to give myself a gong. I say the gong for everyone else. But Nathan Bishop completed his move to Sunderland yesterday. As I said, remember that. That's going to be a pub quiz question in the future. Which goalkeeper made one appearance for Manchester United and punctured someone's lung in the process? It will be Nathan Bishop. He's joined Sunderland for an undisclosed fee. It won't be free, but we don't know what it's going to be. I imagine. Actually, no. He's 23. He's a bit older. He's a little bit more experienced. But obviously, you got Ethan Lair going to Birmingham for $750. You've got Iqbal going to Utrecht for $850. I imagine it should be a little bit more than that, but I don't know. But there's a little bit of confirmation here that we've got another sell on. I think the sell on clause for Iqbal was like 40%. So 15% is a little bit less, but realistically, you're probably going to get more playing in the Championship, maybe playing in the Premier League if Sunderland get promoted. But good luck to Nathan Bishop. And this is what Bruno Fernandes sent to him on Instagram. He said, "You deserve the best. What a person you are and what a professional. You know that you will be missed by everyone. And I know that you'll be missed by being killed by me in training. All the best for your future. And always remember what I told you." I imagine that there was quite a lot of unity and support, I suppose, behind Nathan Bishop after the incident against Wrexham. Obviously, he went out for the ball, completely and utterly mistimed it. No, it wasn't malicious. It was a bit reckless. Went there and he punctured Paul Mullen's lung, and hopefully he's recovering well. And the Wrexham manager after the game it's just weird comments, man. Like he went after him and goes, "Oh, I'm glad he's not here." Woo. It was really weird thing that he said. And after the game, what happened? I think Ryan Reynolds got in touch with him to speak to him. Nathan Bishop apologized to Paul Mullins. Eric Ten Hag spoke about it. And obviously Bruno is speaking about it here as a captain. Brett Black putting his arm around his shoulder because it would have affected him. Of course it would have affected him. He's just punctured someone's lung. He didn't mean to. But it's a nice little touch there. And I wish the absolute best to Nathan Bishop. Good luck to him. And it's another exit from Manchester United. Now, I know there's not a lot of money coming in so far. I mean, it will be a little bit more than 19.6 because Bjorn Hardley and Charlie Savage were undisclosed as well. So we don't know how much they were. So maybe that's more towards somewhere between 20 and 25 mil. And of course, on top of that, we need to start making the real money. But this board is busy, man. We all thought we'd run out of space on this board for players that we've been linked with. I'll be honest, I haven't updated it since Suzuki because I couldn't be asked. I ran out of energy after 75. But I'm probably going to need more room on here for sales. Look at all the room that the sales are taking up. And that in itself is a good thing. Well, at this moment in time, it's conversations around sales rather than sales themselves. But we should be getting more names on that sale list. Fabrizio Romano confirming 100% that Fred is leaving Manchester United. The only delay on this is the price tag. I think personally, Fred is worth somewhere in the region of 15 million euros. Stephen's saying you're going to need a bigger board. I know. Do need a bigger board. I'll tell you what. There was somebody who left a comment recently, which I enjoyed. I like the idea of turning this into something that's big, it's interactive. So I'm going to start looking into it. That'll be hella expensive. But that's what I say. We reinvest back into United People's TV to make it better. I genuinely do. So I need to look into how much that is, what I can do, how I can link it up to the computer, how I could control it, blah, 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 blah. But I'm going to work on that because I think that'll be cool. But Fred himself here, I think the bids we're seeing around Fred are somewhere in like the 5 to 10 million euro mark, which is just way undervalued in my opinion. I think he should be going for somewhere in the region of 15 million euros, but he will be. Fred is leaving Manchester United. And as I've already explained and showed there, that one? That there doesn't have Fred in, and that doesn't have McTominay in. And I don't think we need Fred or McTominay. McTominay is the last one I'm selling out of all the midfielders. Van der Beek I'm selling first. Fred I'm selling first. If we keep McTominay, I think he will probably do a good job inside that midfield setup. But Fred will be leaving. And this is the latest on probably, I think we can all agree, Probably the most important sale that Manchester United need to make this summer. I'm very confused. I'll be honest. At Maguire's lack of desire to want to leave. Because surely by now, dude, like, if that was you, like, your boss doesn't, it's not that he doesn't like you, but your boss thinks other people are better at your job. So what are you going to do? Just sit and hope for injuries? Maybe. Maybe it's the wages. Maybe it is the wages. But reports, these are just whispers, but conversations here that West Ham will be coming back in for him. And I hope they do. I really, really do. Yeah, Gary, that comment will always stick in a lot of United fans' heads when he said he's got nothing to prove. It's like, man, Casemiro's got everything to prove. The next game he plays, as soon as you settle, as soon as you think, oh yeah, completed it, mate, there'll be someone younger, hungrier, that will just swipe your feet away and take your place. As soon as you take your eye off the ball. That was one thing I always credited Ronaldo for. As a professional athlete, I'm not sure there's been any better in football. As a guy, I mean, I think he's got some questionable decisions. As a footballer and an athlete, his body expired before his mind did, and that was the issue with Ronaldo. He was never, unfortunately, able to accept that he had aged. He was older, and he couldn't do the things that he could do before. Mentally, he was always in the same place. But yeah, man, like Maguire, come on, man. Seriously. It's just a bit weird. I think it's a little bit weird. And all we can do is wait. Has there been anybody else? Ibrahimovic, another really good. Yeah, it's a really good comparison. Ibrahimovic, another one, man. Dude, shredded. He's like 40 odd now, isn't he? I don't think there's anybody else that's been massively linked with Maguire. I think Spurs have, tentatively. I think Newcastle got linked really early in the window, but nothing really has happened on that front. It's kind of only West Ham right now, which is a little bit, I don't know, concerning, I suppose is the word I would use. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anything down here. I did. Yeah, I did. I thought I did. Shax and Bigfoot. Sweet like chocolate boy. Wonder if I hear that song this weekend. I probably will. What else are you saying down here? Few Italian clubs have been linked with him. No, you'd probably thrive in Italy. You probably would thrive. Ross, you're saying Maguire doesn't need to leave his place. Maguire doesn't need to leave to keep his England place. Southgate has shown that. I mean, I can't disagree with that. He has basically got a guaranteed starting position in that team. But Maguire, like, that's the biggest one. I wish we had a massive update. I wish that West Ham would put in a bid that wasn't so. What did they put in? 20 million? Man, you know full well, West Ham, your chance in that. He's worth more than that. An interesting one here to speak about this morning. Again, these are all sorts of whispers, but conversations that I think that we can have. I'm not saying take this as gospel because it's not. But reports suggesting that Monaco have inquired about taking Medjugorje. Don't know whether that's permanent or a loan. And it's being reported there that Luton Town is the nearest destination. You remember, of course, that Tahith Chong, United's former academy player, he's joined Luton from Birmingham this summer. And I personally feel that a Premier League loan is the best thing for Hannibal himself this season. I think we signed Hannibal from Monaco, didn't we? Was it Monaco? Yeah, we did. Yeah, we signed him from Monaco. That's where we signed Martial from as well. But I feel that like a full season loan, look, Luton's going to have a hard as hell season. They are relegation favourites before they've kicked a ball, and it's going to be backs to the wall. I think a Luton move would be very good for him. He had a really good loan spell at Birmingham last season, 40 plus appearances. He impressed in pre-season. I think so anyway. I think he's earned himself a Premier League loan. And I think Luton would be a good one. Feyenoord being linked, Rennes also linked. Now, for me, Luton would be easily the best choice there because it's Premier League football. He has to get used to the rhythm and the rigors of it. Because I'm not ruling out the fact that Hannibal could come back in Manchester. You know, I've always said, rarely in football, in my own knowledge, are there. I'm not saying that it's impossible because there are some examples. There's plenty of examples, but I don't think there's that many of players who have been loaned out twice from their parent club and then come back to nail it at their actual club. I think Harry Kane is probably a good example of somebody who actually did and nailed it properly. I think Jesse Lingard did it twice. So there's a few examples you can give to me, but in general. But maybe it's because you get loaned out to a championship side 1 year, come back, and then you get loaned out to a Premier League club and you nail it and you grow, and then all of a sudden at that point, you're nailing it. Game of Beans is saying Hannibal should get Fred's game time. Well, if you're looking back here, you're probably saying, no, you think that's going to be Kobbie Mainoo who's going to get Fred's game time. And you're going to say Mason Mount. Ericsson is basically the backup to both of these. So, well, so is Mainoo. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting one. I'm not sure whether Hannibal will go, but I do think a Premier League loan to Luton would be a good move for him and a good move for us as well. And if at the end of it, he then moved on a permanent deal, we'd probably get a good amount. Right. Let's move on to just an interesting snippet. It's just something I'm aware of, right? Just to make you aware of it, right? The press. Look at these numbers, right? Because the numbers are interesting. This is what Sky Sports released yesterday, showing Manchester United's total spend. Obviously, Onana's not on that list, but you can look here, right? Let me pull this up. And we can see Mason Mount, they've got down there as what? 60 mil? Andre Onana, they've got down as 47 mil. It's an interesting price you've got there, lads, because we signed Mason Mount for 55 mil, an initial 55 mil. So what they've done here, you've included the add-ons. We go over here to look at Andre Onana. We paid 43.8 mil plus 3.4 mil in add-ons. 47.2 mil. The only reason we get to 60 mil is if we win like the Premier League and the Champions League. But it's just it's a slight misrepresentation of the numbers. That's what I think. They're trying to make it look like Manchester United have spent more money than they have. It might only be minor. It might only be 5 million here or there, but it's important. It's important. I think so anyway. Maybe, okay, right. It's not important. It was just an interesting thing that I've sort of clocked onto. Daz, you're saying, why is Hojlund delayed? We go back here, we read the main story. It is delayed, and we can go down here. And it's mainly due to the fact that he was supposed to arrive a bit earlier than he did. He arrived late on Tuesday. He was still doing his medical yesterday. He's got some of the press work done. Don't worry about it. He's going to be announced. But yeah, it's going to be slightly delayed. And yeah, as I said, it's interesting that they're adding a few millions onto this. Linville's saying, what do you expect? It's Sky Sports. It's clickbait. Mate, Sky Sports used to be the kings. Transfer deadline day used to genuinely be a thing because Sky Sports made it interesting. And man, they've lost their way. They have lost their way. And the good thing is that their downfall has allowed people like me, communities like us to exist, where we can talk about the real stories, the real truths, and the actual full picture, rather than misrepresenting our club. And I think that's what fan channels have gone on an interesting journey. A lot of it was clickbait. A lot of it still is clickbait in some, but with some fan channels. And it used to be all about who can just shout the loudest and make the most noise. It was never about how can you best represent your football club. It was about how can I make, and that's why I did fan cams right at the start. I remember it was with Colin, who sadly passed away now, actually, I think. Colin and Amy, big up Amy, were the two presenters that we had right at the start. And you got fan cams outside the grounds. Because at that point in time, when you get a fan cam, if you've won a game or you've lost a game, emotions are heightened. Some of them are drunk. And what they're going to be saying is louder and probably going to get you a better headline and title. That's how AFTV became who AFTV is. But does that best represent your football club? No, it doesn't. And that's what I've always tried to do here on United People's TV and kind of stand out. And it's why it took me so long, I suppose, to reach the sort of size that we're at now. And we're still tiny by comparison of the other big boys in the United, Stretford Paddock United stand, are still nowhere near the size of them because they've gone on a different path. But I'm happy we did that because look at the community that's made off the back of it. The community here is a direct consequence of the journey of United People's TV to this point. So big up all of you. You've made it happen as well. Don't know why I just went on a little monologue about fan channels, but I've been doing it for a while now. Quite interesting. I'm sorry I'm going to have to pull this bloke's face up again. It really is just such a slappable face. And so I just want to swing. I want to stick him to a ceiling fan by his hair. That's what I want to do. A ceiling fan would probably break. Anyway, I did a video yesterday because reports came out that the takeover was paused. The Glazers were thinking about staying. And there was a lot of frustration. It's just United fans are sort of up to here with just frustration. And it boils over now. It really boils over. Because nobody likes the excitement of a new potential owners has just been completely replaced by like I don't know, just a disappointment, just a frustration, of course. And that's why I did that video yesterday. I'm like, look, if I'm going to put myself in the mind of a Glazer, like, why could I consider delaying? And I ran through that. General was a good question there, randomly pull this one up, saying, is a people's person website your website? It is my website. That was my job. I started that from uni, and that's what got me towards the point where I could start the channel. But now Yvonne, big up to you, Yvonne, if you're listening. Yvonne now runs that as the main editor. I'm not involved in it. I trust that the content that she is doing is fantastic because I worked with Yvonne for a good amount of years. But I'm not actually in control of the content anymore. But it still, of course, is my name. And that the people's person is still mine. Wow. Not anymore. But I'm there if Yvonne needs me. But it's not really mine anymore. But yeah, Mike Keegan reporting yesterday that, it's not paused, but nothing's really happening. That's what he said. It's not paused, and like the conversations are still going on, but you know what I mean, there's not really an update for you. And that's why I added that on the end of the title. I was just like, I'm tired, Robbie. I'm tired. There's nothing else I can say about that takeover that I haven't already said before. When it comes to the Glazers, when it comes to protests, the 1958 held space yesterday on Twitter, sort of confirmed their plans for what's coming next against Wolves and Nottingham Forest. They'll be releasing more information. And I'm in conversations with them as much as I possibly can be to try and help. You might say that it's having no impact and doing nothing, but it's better to do something than nothing at all. Right? John, you're saying 1958 gave you a shout out during the Twitter space. Good lads, man. They do have the best interest of Manchester United at heart, which is good. You need good fan representation. Oh yeah, Brian, very good point there. Very, very good point. Let me pull this up. Hell yeah. In this community, we're going places, man. Let's see how. I have no idea how big we can get, but it'll be cool. What one did I do it for? Was it? Let me find it. Is it that one? I think it was that one. No, it wasn't that one. Was that one? 1 second. I don't want to give. Nah, that one there. That's where we were. Yeah. Oh man, we reached 7. Jeez. That might. Oh no, I'm getting that picture off of my screen. You remember what I said for this Rasmus Hojlund video? At the start of it, I was like, look, let's see how good we can get this. If we can reach 6,000 likes, then we'll be giving away another home kit. We've reached 7,000. And I'll reiterate here before I do this, this is not from the mega store. This is not anything to do with United. They get no revenue from this whatsoever. But we've reached 6,000, so I'm going to give another one away. And I'm just going to close my eyes. Just going to look over there. do that. Do this. I'm going to go for someone towards the top this time. Someone, I'm going to go for there. Who's that? Where's that? Red Devils TV MUFC. Well, that's very nice. You win it, sir. Congratulations, my friend. You have won the shirt. Make sure you DM me with your details. Oh, actually, damn. I said I was going to do this one on Facebook. Next one, next two, I promise. Next two, I promise. Because I really wish I could just get all the community in one place. Really wish I could. Sorry, yeah, I've just realized I did say I was going to be doing this on Facebook, but I will be doing it on Facebook for the next couple of times. Eden saying, do too. I get rinsed. But look, congratulations to Red Devils TV, MUFC. And look, if there's anybody who doesn't reach out to me, then I'll be giving these away again. So anybody who doesn't reach out to me and slide into my DMs, we've had one winner comes forward so far. The second one hadn't. But let's find out if the second or the third one does. Because I'm not going to reach out to them. This is why you've got to keep on top of your own YouTube account. See if I've messaged you back. And what I would say here, right? Anybody who, let me do this as a quick reminder and a warning. You see how my name there is in grey and it's got the tick next to it, right? That means it's me. Any other little bastard who tries to pretend to be me on there, because it's happened quite a few times. People trying to scam people from there and then go into Telegram and trying to get you to DM them, right? If it's me, I am going to be there in grey with the tick next to it. Anybody else is a scammer. So please remember that. Ben, you're saying, wow, imagine having a favorite platform. Honestly, man, I wish that Facebook had the same creator capabilities that YouTube does. YouTube is made for creators. Facebook is a community platform that's trying and getting better at it in being a place for creators, but it's just nowhere near the level of YouTube. You can have a go at Meta, you can have a go at Mark Zuckerberg, all right? Because it's not my fault. It's just it's far easier for me to manage a community than it is on Facebook. You can have a go at them. Excuses indeed, David. I'm just telling you the truth. But look, thank you everybody for tuning in. I apologize, disgraceful as I know. Apologize. Who am I apologizing for? Sod that. I'm going away for a few days. Deal with it. Look, I'm looking forward to a couple of days off. I need it. Hojlund will be announced over the weekend. My announcement video will be there. I'm doing my lunchtime video today is my Lons 11. I'm also doing the Athletic 11 as well, both in the same video. Another video will be going out tomorrow, and I'll be back live on Tuesday. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Drop a like on the video if you can. Shocking form indeed. I know it's disgraceful behavior. I tell you what.
We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway.
I think that was probably my favorite use of Barry that I've ever done, because that was absolutely perfect. Thank you, Barry, my man. I'll see you soon.